My plan is to use these headers for the Pontiac. And what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of cleaning on these. I actually got these at the Carlisle swap meet back in the spring of 21. Vendor had a set of these, not just this pair, but another pair, and I paid $20 for all of them. And my original plan was that I would have a set to use on my engine run stand for the future, so that way I would just have a generic set of headers to use. The seller was selling them for cheap because he had no idea what they fit. He just assumed they were a Chevy truck. But what wound up being the case was I matched this with the one that was on my brother's Nova when we were doing the engine swap, and found they're exactly the same thing. So these are basically the Camaro Nova from 68 to probably 79 headers. So lo and behold, I got a set of headers here for $10 that's going to fit on the Pontiac. What's also kind of cool is I noticed there's a stamping in here that these are Mr. Gasket. Not that it makes them worth any more, but I just think it's kind of cool. It'll give a vintage look, because what I intend to do is I always like headers in that off-white color or flat white. So I'm actually going to powder coat these with some white powder I picked up over at Harbor Freight. I'm only going to powder part way down because I'm going to use a heat wrap around the rest of this, and I got a titanium colored wrap, so I think that'll look kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm not going to bore you guys with me cleaning all these, but I will show you the finished product. The other thing I'll show you here is exhaust. This exhaust is part of a project that I haven't revealed on the channel yet, that I bought probably I think it was about 4 years ago, out of a barn. So that car is not progressing at all. I haven't done anything with it yet. Eventually I'm going to get to it. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to use the exhaust from it. It is Camaro, early Camaro, but I think it's going to fit on the Nova, I think it'll fit on the Pontiac without any issues. Here's a little bit of before and after, since this has now been powder coated. Didn't come out too bad, and that's all I wanted, was just to get the upper half here white, because the wrap is going to start to work from these points down. But now you can see before and after. I think next what we're going to do is work on getting the old exhaust off. So we're going to have to get the Pontiac out so we can get it up on the lift, and this will kind of give us a before sound. with the fitment. I do have one small issue, and that is the linkage for the transmission. This is from the column shift coming down, this pivot point. It is rubbing the header here, but after I did it a couple times, it seems like it's getting better, so I don't think I have to do anything. Had I known about that, I could have just dented this header in before putting it in, but it's too hard to put it up inside of that space, and I'm not taking it back down and doing that. Happy with the fitment over here on the opposite side. Got clearance with the trans lines, plenty of clearance with the starter, so I'm pretty happy with the fitment on this side. Actually came from another car project that hasn't been revealed yet. These tailpipes unfortunately go right up underneath the gas tank straight out, so I'm not real happy about it, but you know, I already have them, so I'm going to use what I've got. Over here is the other part of the exhaust. These, just so you're aware, were sitting in a barn for a number of years. I have no idea what this stuff is. It is really hard, but we're not worried about that because I am not using these mufflers. In fact, when someone pulled them off the car to do the restoration, they just hacked them up. So they're just probably old turbo mufflers. Nothing that's going to be any good. I've got a whole stack of good used Flowmasters up on the top shelf up there, so I'm going to pull a set of them down and get them on. So I'm going to start working on putting these mufflers in. Here we're making repair and undoing the crap work that was done by a previous owner. So we're going to go ahead and separate these and then weld them in the proper position with them connected to the headers. Here you can see one of the old Flowmaster mufflers I have. It's full of mouse nesting, so we're going to get rid of that. I've already begun mocking up the one side and just using some blocks of wood to hold that muffler where I want it, and position the pipe, and then here you can see where it's coming up to the collector. That's where we're going to go ahead and tack weld those pieces back in. Lost a lot of video, so I apologize. Here is the finished product. We'll give you kind of a walkthrough so you can see. Pretty happy with the way this came out. I don't like how it runs up underneath the gas tank, but I think it's going to do. Considering that I have very little money in the exhaust, it's going to be pretty nice. With all of our exhaust now in place and our cosmetic work done, we're going to put this back together and see how it sounds. We're just going to cook that white a little bit. Yeah. Yep. Heat it up some more. Keep burning it off. Shot this video the following weekend, and this is all in prep for taking the car out to a car show. Really had to struggle to get the old filter off. Someone had it on way too tight. So folks, don't do that. Time to add the new filter. Always add a little bit of oil to the O-ring so you get a good seal. And you only have to do it by hand tight. Otherwise, when you go to remove it, it'll look like this. So I start pulling these seat covers out. So this is the first top layer. See, that's why they put one over top of this, because it's kind of rough. But we might undo this one here so we can see what's going on down in there. I think I'm just gonna pull the bottom because it really feels like a mess down in here. Got a penny. I got a quarter. Yep, sound like some more coins. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty shot. Let's get a vacuum, try to get all the junk out of it, and see if maybe there's something else we can do with this. Get that a little bit more solid. Well, so far that's the change that we found. Looks like 50, 64 cents. I'm gonna try and vacuum this up a little bit. All right, so I just took a board. It was a 4x4 actually, instead of a 2x4. Took the foam that they had on the top of it that was wrapped in another cover, wrapped it around, and then I shoved that underneath to help to support it. So it's not perfect, but it feels a lot more stable than it did before. So now I'm going to put this single cover back down over top. In fact, I'm wondering if maybe I should put the other one that wasn't bad under here. I might do that. That way it looks a little bit better. Okay. I cut the top off of this, so I just have the bottom, because that's all I really want. I don't want this all balked up like it was before. Okay, with everything hooked back up again. Now I'm just going to do a little bit more vacuuming, but I think this will look a bit better than it did before. It's a little bit more solid. It's not so sunken in as it was. All right, there is a car show not too far away from here, about 10 miles. I think it's going to be a good test with the car outside of just driving around the block a few times. So off we go. By the way, I pulled the glove box door off. I thought it looked ugly hanging down there since I don't have a latch to hold it up. And it is raining, by the way. Whoop. Jesus, people. Things I need to fix in here. I still need to do something about that headliner. I'm gonna get my wife to do a little sewing, see if she can get that seam closed up on it. Not sure if it'll come across in the video, but you can hear this stumbling just a little bit. My carburetor is probably gonna need to be opened up and rebuilt or cleaned up, or I might just rebuild the one that came off of here and put that one back on. Alright, one of the things I need to do is stop and get gas. So this is ethanol-free gas. The date is July 9th, 2022. So you can see what the going rate is. 509. Just wanted to say thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying seeing the work being done on this Pontiac. We've got a lot more to do. Gonna end up going over to electronic ignition, make some new plug wires, and I really want to fix that front fender and bumper damage. So all that's coming in the future. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell so that way you'll know as soon as a new video comes out. Drop us a comment, and as always, hit that thumbs up button. Thanks again for watching.